welcome back to Talos Principle 2. I'm dear darling, and why are we here? What truth awaits us? Why don't we answer more of these questions together? I don't remember if I did the intro in the last episode, now I think about it, but whatever. Consume. Yeah, we're just doing mostly the Easter eggs now, I suppose, on this island before we get to the tower once again and move on. And Vox Pop 9. From an interview with a protester outside the Institute for Applied Pneumatics. So why did you join this protest? Artificial intelligence is inherently dangerous to this planet's ecosystem. Defending our ecosystem is our responsibility. In which way is artificial intelligence dangerous? I'm not some paranoid idiot imagining Skynet taking over the world, alright? That's science fiction. But what we're talking about here is an artificial intelligence without any of the attachment we have to the natural world. It's not capable of distinguishing between, say, an ore and a tree. Everything's just resources to it. People like Sarabi or Drennan talk about ethics and philosophy, but they all embrace the same extractivist ethos that has brought us to the brink of disaster. Their intelligent being would try to optimize the world in its image, and in so doing, consume it. But so far they're saying it's all theoretical. The atomic bomb was theoretical at first too. Once something is there, someone's going to use it. Why couldn't they imagine that we might care about the world? I don't know. Maybe because they were too used to no one else caring. Oh, that's quite a sad thing to view on the world, I suppose. Hypatia's Journals, Volume 1, The Founding of New Jerusalem. Day 200. Construction on our new home is coming along nicely. We finished 2 new buildings last week, and this week we started on our new lodgings. Athena and Cornelius have plans to erect a tower in the middle of a settlement, which will serve as our administrative centre and main heliport. But right now it's still a long ways off, decades at least. It's hard to imagine that one day we'll be able to erect structures like that, and that there will be enough of us to need that much space. But then I look at the dam and I remind myself our ancestors built that with their short lifespans and soft flesh and bone bodies. And then I think that there's really no limit to what we can achieve, given it enough time, patience, and the capacity to dream. Trevor, 5. Who's Trevor again?
Strap
The
in.
scientist?
This is a long one.
Alright, fair
You
enough.
may have heard the story of the carpenter who died to redeem humanity's sins.
Mm.
It's a powerful story. Bittersweet, very human.
I'm going to the question
And
mark.
I just want to tell you that it's true. He was a real person. And
Yes,
his
okay.
name was John. John Carpenter. He was born in the year 1948, and he was the coolest filmmaker to ever walk the earth. From Halloween to The Thing to They Live, the totally underrated In the Mouth of Madness, mind you.
No, we have
he
stuff to
just
say
made
about Bill.
classic after classic. All of his movies, really
John
fun,
Carpenter.
really
I've
atmospheric,
not seen any
but
of his movies.
also really smart. Even when they were goofy, most directors would kill to have made just one of those movies. And what did he get for it? A big, fat truckload of nothing. Well, less than nothing. The
Less than
studios,
nothing?
The critics, even the fans.
How can you get
they
less than nothing?
Hated
Negative.
him. The Thing, okay, for example, which is about as perfect a movie as you can make, completely torn to shreds. And
Which one's
his
The Thing?
career never really recovered. Every movie after that was a struggle, and after a while, he just got tired of it.
I'm gonna get my
and
phone.
quit.
What's The Thing?
He only really came back to movies in his 70s. How many works of genius did we never get because of that? Look, I have a point here. People
lost
like
potential
Carpenter,
things, right?
People like Alex, they're not always appreciated in their own time. If you just do what's popular, you might never create anything important. Of course, we admire people who did the right thing, who didn't conform, but we only ever admire them after the fact.
I think
What
that's a fair
matters
point.
is to support people when it's difficult.
Kind of like Vincent van Gogh, right? It's a tragedy, I suppose, of time. And, you know, whatever is popular, I suppose, for a reason, because that's the flavour of what people like at the moment. But not to say that it doesn't become subverted, I suppose, as time goes by. But, you know, and that's why the real tragedy of people before their time, right? And yes, it moves. A fascinating story I discovered in the archive concerns a great scientist by the name of Galileo. This remarkable man made huge contributions to the early development of science, but was best remembered for becoming embroiled in a controversy with a church that ended with the accusations of heresy, a trial, and him being placed under house arrest for the rest of his life. Oh, I straight up thought he got executed. Because of controversy, he argued that the earth revolved around the sun. a view we would describe as self-evident, and which the Inquisition described as foolish and absurd in philosophy, and formerly heretical. And I suppose very relevant to what you were saying, Trevor. Actually, what Trevor was saying made me immediately think of Alan Turing. If you don't know who he was basically a mathematician, I suppose, but most known for his cryptography, where he broke the Enigma code during World War II, question mark, World War One, World War II. I think I should probably know that, but I don't off the top of my head. And that basically effectively helped end the World War. But because he was gay, he was eventually, cast out of society, and rather than being appreciated for his works and contributions, he, was, I can't remember, like, tortured or something in some sense. I don't know. Something along the lines, which is obviously a very, very tragic story for a hero who did a lot, I suppose, to, well, I mean, I guess in a way shape society as it is today. He made a first computer. That's why we have things like Turing machines being the first sort of computers, Turing completeness being if something can do these simple calculations, etc., etc. And very unappreciated in his time. And I suppose only really in modern times gotten an official pardon, I suppose, for it, which is, of course, a little too late, seeing as his life has already come and sunsetted. Anyway, sorry. Something story became emblematic for how society often punishes those who try to push our understanding of a world forward in the modern day. There's a legend that at the end of his trial he muttered, "And yet it moves." A beautiful idea, but untrue. Because defying society is hard, it comes at a high cost, and not everyone is capable of bearing it. What would you have done in his place? What would I? Mitku, that's a new name we've not seen before. And yet it moves. I think I would have tried to stand up for the truth. It's harder than it sounds. This is the thing I always say. Fighting an authority like Elohim is one thing, but when even your friends and allies may renounce you for holding an unacceptable opinion, it takes enormous willpower to continue. But if nobody does it, society gets stuck. Very true as well. So, of course, these revolutionaries, I suppose, are a key point to society. But exactly as Athena says, it's difficult to do so. One thing to, face evil and say, I'm going to rise up in the face of evil. But one thing to rise up in the face of people you think are good as well, who also oppose you. Which, I mean, if it was easy, then I suppose everyone would do it. And that's kind of like the point of it necessarily not being easy. Because not everyone who rise up with a dissenting opinion, I suppose, would be correct necessarily. Right? It's sort of like, everyone's got their own thoughts and opinions. And I'm sure you yourself personally have met people with such outlandish opinions where you're just like, you can't possibly think that's true. But they believe it with their whole heart. Not everyone, I suppose, ends up being the protagonist or the main character in the end, right? Puzzled archive post. The role of puzzles in the simulation was so important to the creation of our civilization that it's left an indelible imprint. But sometimes I wonder if this is an issue. Alexandra Drennan thought of human beings as problem solvers. But the real world isn't anything like a simulation. Yes, there are problems to solve, but there isn't a Tetronomo reward waiting for you, waiting to reward you. It's just another problem, and another, and another. A veneration of a puzzle may be blinding us to the fact that sometimes there isn't any solution. Sometimes life is just a slog. And the best you can do is muddle through. True. I can do nothing but agree. Archive from Aurora to Athena. Dear Athena, have you really left us for good without even saying goodbye? I know we haven't spoken much lately, but isn't that just part of the slow, relaxed lives we now lead? After all those centuries of struggle trying to build New Jerusalem, I thought we deserved a rest. And if that disappointed you, why didn't you say so? I know you disapprove of all of those silly titles they give us now, but we really were your first companions. We know what it was like. I was there when Yemo died. I remember the horror realizing that there was no way of bringing him back. The impossible finality of it. And then the determination to make it make sense. To have it be part of a story that leads to a better world. I never abandoned that, Athena. I just thought that maybe I could spend some time on things that make life worth living too. Maybe I lost track. Maybe I failed you. I don't know, because you didn't tell me. Very powerful message, right? Communication is key, everyone. Please communicate with those who care for you and you care for them, right? Don't leave them in the dark. It is probably one of the most cruel things you can end up doing, I suppose. We as humans, we like resolutions to things. We like understanding. It's, I suppose, within our nature. And therefore, the lack of it, I suppose, does the opposite. Nothing more than agitation and restlessness. No sense of closure means no sense of coming to any sort of understanding. It just is forever, I suppose, in that state of limbo. No different to it continuing than it ending. Hello, Alcatraz.
Hello, 1K.
Hey. Do you think finding a functional somnodrome would be interesting?
Sure. I think there's plenty inside each of us to explore.
True.
And it might give us a new perspective. Will it really answer all the big questions? I don't know. But it might help.
That's all. Fair enough. We've not really interacted with the somnodrome. Was the somnodrome something we found on this island? I don't really recall. Anyway, right now I'm going back to the Sphinx statue because I cannot... I didn't need to go back to the Sphinx statue. I forgot. It's literally here. Okay, so this one we haven't done. This one we have done. I think we've done this one. So we might as well just make sure... Oh! Gorgeous music. We might as well do this one. That I know we haven't done. That's the first one. And then we'll see if that is enough for the Sphinx statue activation. Now, how do we get there? Okay, I guess we had to start doing the Tetronomy puzzles and we'll just veer off to the side afterwards. That's fine. Easy enough, to be honest. It's not like the Tetronomy puzzles are honestly that crazy difficult. Which I guess is good, because they're not really like the main focus point. I see, okay. I didn't actually look at the pieces. Excuse me? This one requires us to go really far out. I thought it was just a vertical line. I mean, it is a vertical line, but it's a vertical line in a different direction. Miranda. Miranda! Or Athena, I don't know. Hello. Talk to me.
Sometimes it seems the only choices we have are renouncing civilization or mindless expansion. But that's
Does
not
it?
the only path forward.
Are those
Embracing deliberate control over nature.
the two things we
doesn't
often
have
think
to mean
about?
Destruction. We are a species of artists and artisans, blessed with the ability to transform the raw material of the cosmos into new and better shapes. Shapes that have meaning. With our technology, we can take this chaotic world, so full of suffering, and turn it into a work of art.
That's beautiful. Interesting. This puzzle actually was a bit harder than I expected. I guess that's kind of on me for being like, oh, Tetronomers are easy. I don't know if we can make it over. Oh no, we can. There's a land bridge here. I see it. So I was like, I don't know if we can make it over there without drowning. I'm not really sure what this is for. If there's anything over here except for a nice little thing to pull. It seems like we've done it. So we have to go back to the Sphinx statue now. We can do that on the way back. We don't have to do that now. I don't think we've done the Prometheus statue because we haven't found the fire. I would bet it would be over there or something, but nonetheless, let's delve in deeper. See which Greek myth, or well, which, not Greek necessarily, mythological creature is here to greet us now. Probably the Sphinx again, as it seems to be a recurring theme for her to appear. Oh no, it's Pandora.
Halt, creature of clay.
Hello.
You have taken another step towards the flame.
It brings me so,
Before you
like a moth.
continue, ask yourself, have the gifts of Prometheus ever truly benefited your people? Or have they brought nothing but strife?
Probably a little bit both, right? I don't see why it wouldn't have to be one without the other. Without his gifts, we would no longer even exist. His gifts have greatly eased the suffering of the world. We've made a mistake in using them, but the good outweighs the bad. They have caused harm, but they cannot be put in the back of a box. They've been a curse to my people. Lady, I'm a robot. Hold on. I need to remember now. It's been ages since I last played. This is not talking about Prometheus' gift of fire to the world, is it? It's talking about, metaphorically, the gift of knowledge or something, right? Or did I just make it up? Maybe she's literally talking about fire as a gift. We've made mistakes in using them, but good outweighs the bad, I think is probably what I'd say.
And you repeat your mistakes until they destroy you.
We don't have to, ideally. Were you always just going to say something snarky to whatever I say, Pandora? Has anyone ever told you that you're a little bit negative about, you know, life, living, situations that exist for us? You know? Flooded Valley. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
There's 3 towers per cardinal direction and 3 entities. You'd think it would be symmetrically arranged. 1 tower per entity, right? But we haven't seen Prometheus at all.
We're built to find patterns.
That's true.
Maybe we're trying to find patterns where there aren't any.
Was Prometheus the one we initially saw in the introduction, like the intro to this game, or was that Poseidon? For some reason in my mind it's Poseidon, but I think it was Prometheus. Because I think Prometheus makes more sense. Alright, so we're doing what we usually do on these sort of things.
None may know what came first, error or sin, and yet every choice depends on it.
That's interesting. Error or sin. You know, sort of the acknowledgement of mistakes happening, but we don't know what was the first mistake necessarily, or was it on purpose, or was it an accident? I don't know. If you take a biblical reading, maybe you have a more solid answer to that because of forbidden fruit and all that. Okay, so gold puzzles. So we've done what we need to do. 2 stars? I don't even remember what stars we collected were. What stars did we collect? I have no recollection of what stars. I guess that must be the Sphinx star. Oh, I guess we must have done the Prometheus star then. So we've not got the Prometheus star here. We've not got Prometheus star here. Gold puzzles. Who even knows what the heck the mechanic is of that? But we can do that later. For now, let's travel to North 3. And we will, I suppose, see what awaits us. I don't think we'll have enough time. Sorry, I keep speaking so fast. I told myself I would slow my roll with my speech. No need to be in such a rush. But we've not seen how to do anything with a golden gates yet.
Melted a whole lot of ice.
That's so
After
true.
they died, most coastal settlements were claimed by the sea. South of New
dark
Jerusalem,
visage.
there's a whole city under the water. We went there once with Garrus when I was an apprentice. It was eerie.
I can imagine
That's exactly
so.
why the founder created the goal. When you go past the limits, this is what happens. Mother
Interesting.
Nature always gets her revenge in the end.
I don't know if it's really
This isn't
revenge.
Revenge, Al.
Yeah.
It's just failure. People, cities, mountains. As far as the sea is concerned, it's all the same.
Yeah, I think Mother Nature's rather
Humans
unfeeling
forgetting
with this.
that, telling themselves nothing would change.
It's like the Eiffel
does.
Towers. Okay, well, let's not do anything crazy. Let's just start solving puzzles. If we find a Sphinx, if we find a whatever, then we can start thinking about the meta level puzzles here. But for now, let's see new mechanic or not. Substitution. Bring an item to swap. Oh, okay, we had to exchange. Right, okay, well, why don't we bring this to swap? Oh, okay, that's interesting. We can, so this basically means something needs to be active at all times for us to use it. It doesn't have a name, it doesn't have an official name, I suppose. Because we can't actually interact with it. I guess I'll call it the swapper.
Look at the Somnodrome.
How's that been going?
It's based on the original prototype with some modifications.
As expected.
As usual, the data is a mess,
Oh,
but I
dear.
strongly suspect there might be a functional version somewhere.
I know some of
That
you
one's
have
not
heard
functional?
stories about the answers this device might reveal.
It's going to follow this deer for a while.
Please remember, that is not our main priority here. Keep an eye open for it, but focus on finding Athena.
You are goddess Athena. Something, something, something. Actually, why haven't we seen more owls? That I thought would be like a bang-on reference you can do. Athena, goddess of wisdom, symbol of owl. Whoa, okay. Where are you going, dear? Where are you going? Are you just running away from me in general? Is that what's going on? Okay, No, you're on your loop path now. Okay, so let's just make it to level 2. Looks kind of like a crypt, I suppose, and then we'll do the stuff afterwards. I just want to have a save point, so I don't think we'll start level 2 yet, but we'll just walk into it. Possibilities. Interesting mechanic. That's definitely not one I would have thought of, but that has rife potential as well. But we'll have to see what potential it holds in a future episode. So for now, if you have been watching, thank you very much. This has been Talos Principle 2, and I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.